everyone, and welcome to Central. We are so glad you're here with us today. If you're joining us online, let us know where you're watching from in the chat window, and we would love for you to take a moment right now to share this experience on whatever platform you're watching it on. It goes a long way in helping us spread the word about this amazing community of faith that we have. If you're new here and haven't had a chance to connect with someone on our team, we'd love to meet you. If you're joining us in person, after today's experience, head to the connections wall in our lobby to meet some of our pastoral team and volunteers in blue shirts. They are ready to answer any questions you may have and help you find a way to get connected. And if you are joining us online, we'd love to hear from you as well and invite you to reach out to our online hosts in the chat window right now. We want you to be a part of what's happening here today, and they are here to help you answer any questions that you may have. Here at Central, our vision is simple: helping you connect with God and each other. That's it. Everything we do here, from Sunday experiences and groups to our kids and youth programs, revolves around those two things. Today, to help you connect with God, we want to encourage you to open your heart to experience the love God has for you as we worship together. Connection to God can look different for everyone, but we want you to know that this is a safe place to explore your faith and relationship with Him. Then, to help you connect with others, we have groups. Our groups are designed with you in mind and how we can best serve you in your next steps. So to make sure that we have something for everyone, we have 4 types of groups here at Central: community groups, small groups, interest groups, and support groups. Each group is led by a leader that is committed in helping you connect with God and others that are on the same journey. We have a number of groups starting up for the summer, and there's still time to join. You can find out more about those by visiting our website, centralcc.ca/groups, and search the list of options there, or head to the connections wall after today's experience, and someone from our team would be happy to help you. Today, I want to take just a moment to let you know of a couple things we have coming up here at Central. Today is Father's Day, and we want to honor all the dads, grandpas, and father figures that have joined us today. We want to take some time to celebrate you. So after our experience, we hope that you will head outside using Exit B, where we have some food trucks available for you to grab a bite to eat with your family and then hang around and play some games together. We want you to know you are loved and appreciated for all that you do. Our next encounter night is happening on Sunday, June 26th at 6 p.m. Join us for this 1-hour worship and prayer experience. This month, we are talking about family, and during this encounter night, we want to take time to pray for your family. So we encourage you to come and bring your entire family as we lean into the promises God has for each of you. We believe the home should be the spiritual center for our families, and it is our desire to help you grow in that way. This night is for everyone, so invite someone to join as we lean into God for what He has for us. And for those of you with younger kids, there is kids programming for ages 5 and under available. We know lives can be transformed when we encounter God, and we look forward to spending this time together. If you have any questions about anything we have mentioned today, you can text them to our number 905-937-5610, or you can head over to our website, centralcc.ca/connect. It's your best resource to stay updated on everything we have talked about today. You can also scan that QR code in the seat back in front of you and complete a connection card. And as always, you can head to the connections wall following the experience, as we'd love to have a conversation and help in any way that we can. So that's all from me today. Our experience is about to begin. So why don't you stand with me as we worship together?
All right, hello everyone, good morning. Happy Father's Day. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're watching online, thank you. We're gonna sing a few songs. Please join along, sing along. Let's get our hands clapping. Sing after me. Arise, my soul, remember this. He took my sin and He buried it. No longer I who live, now Jesus lives in me. For I was dead in sin, but I woke up to see the light. That saved my soul. All else is lost. The grip of fear has no hold on me. So where, oh, day Jesus lives in me. For I was dead in sin, but I woke up. Come on.
To see the light.
Here we go, let's go.
Jesus is alive. Is he alive in you today? Wow, I can feel it, honestly, as we're singing that song. When Jesus is alive in us, you know, the past, we don't have to live for that past. We have a future now. We have something that we can put our trust in. That's God, our Heavenly Father. And he has plans for you today. So I don't know what you came into this room with, but I just want you to throw it off. I want you to throw it off, leave it behind, and listen to what God might be saying to you today. One thing's for sure is he loves you. The second thing's for sure is he has a future for you. Will you believe it? Let's sing.
I've tried so hard to see it, and took me so long to believe it, that you choose someone like me to carry your victory. Perfection could never earn it. You give what we don't deserve it. You take the broken things and raise them to glory. You are my champion. Giants fall when you stand undefeated. Every battle you won. I am who you say I am. You crown me with confidence. I am seated in the heavenly place, undefeated, with the one who has conquered it all.
is grace for each and every one. No matter what we did yesterday, maybe some of us don't even know what our future looks like. Maybe we don't know the way forward. But our God has conquered it once and for all. That means we can come to Him. That means He makes a way for us. That means He makes us confident in our everyday. It also means He's here right now. Right now.
You are here, you're moving in our midst. I worship you, and I worship you. You are here, you're working in this place. And I worship you, oh God, and I worship you. You are here, you're moving in our midst, and I worship you, I worship you. And you are here, you're working in this place, and I worship you, I worship you. 'Cause you are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are.
You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, and you're turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, and you're mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are a waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. That is who you are. And that is who you are. And that is who you are. And that is who you are. Lift it up. That is who you are. And that is who you are. And that is who you are. That is who you
That is who you are. That is who you are. You make a way where there seems to be no way.
Thank you, oh
Oh
God.
God,
You are here speaking right now, tugging at hearts right now. Thank you for your presence, oh God, oh God. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, He never stops working. You never stop, He never stops working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working.
you never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when
watching online. All those things we just sang about God are true. If you can't see a way forward, if you can't see a way around, our God is the way maker. And that should bring hope inside of you. That should make you feel something today. But even if you don't feel it, even if you don't, it doesn't mean that God isn't working. There are many times in life where we feel so discouraged, and we just have to sing it at the top of our lungs or read it in scripture over and over again to believe it. But our God, the one who lives in us, are all those things. So if you need light today, if you need a way, if you need healing, if your heart is broken, if you can't see a way forward, if you think you've done so wrong that you can't make it back, God, He can help you. He is with you right now, and He is always working. God, thank you for your presence as we sing this song. Just at the top of our lungs, these truths about who you are bring so much hope inside of me, for myself, for my family, for everyone in this room, for everyone watching online. We just so need you, God. And when we say those things about you, we know that once and for all you paid the price, and so you live inside of us. And that means there's a whole lot of hope. Our mistakes don't need to hold us back. We can keep making steps forward. We can keep waking up to your light every day. So God, would you encourage the hearts in the room right now? Would you speak, God, to the hearts in the room right now who need to know that there's a God full of grace, not up there, but right here, right now. And would you touch and would you mend those hearts today? Amen. That song is really hard to move past, that song, isn't it? It's so powerful, singing all those names about God. I know today you're going to be encouraged by what Pastor Bill has to say. And it's not a coincidence that you're all here. I think it's for you to hear today. So you need to know that God is working, God is moving, and He is speaking. So would you have your ears open? Would you prepare your heart to hear what God is speaking through Pastor Bill today? I'm going to invite you now to grab a seat as we continue.
Dad, daddy, dada, papa, poo-poo, pops. Well, I don't know, whatever you call it. We're talking about dads today, finding out what kids think about their dads and what dads know about their kids. Let's get to it. Do you know Lyle's birthday?
Yes, I do.
What's Lyle's birthday?
Cut.
All right, we are here right now with
Chad.
And
Chad. Grant.
all right. Why do you love your dad? What makes your dad so special?
First, I'll say all the opportunities he's given me. I would say that's a huge thing. Like coming from South Africa.
Grant, can you tell me Chad's birthday?
No.
Okay, what year was he born?
20. No, it couldn't be 20. It must be 99.
Chad, what year were you born?
2003.
And what about you? What do you love about your dad?
Because he works so hard for us, and also sometimes he gives us tickles.
June the 1st, 2012. February the 24th, 2014. Favorite colors?
Got the birthday and that's all that matters.
Birthday is all that matters, let's be honest.
Why is your dad so special?
Because he tells me stories at bedtime.
Could you tell me what your daughter's birthday is?
July 1, 2014.
Well done.
He's loving, he's caring, he has the biggest heart in the world, and he puts everyone before himself.
April 10th, 2002.
He's been like a role model growing up, and I've always looked up to him.
Now I look up to him.
Can you tell me your son's birthdays?
Oh, man. Oh, that always gets me.
I'm just asking their birthdays.
No, honestly, I'm not kidding.
Favorite sport?
Oh, basketball, volleyball.
See, the things that matter, people. It's those things that matter, right?
He has a huge heart, loves everyone that he's around, very selfless, will help anybody in need. If anyone needs any help, he's there. And so I can always call on him.
We're here live with my little guy, Izzy. Izzy, why do you love Daddy?
Izzy.
Do you know her birthday?
November?
October 19th.
Sorry, that's Jeremy's.
That's not even Jeremy's birthday either. What makes your dad so special?
Because he takes care of me and he cares for me.
He's getting it on film, so for evidence.
Is the best.
And can you tell me your kids' birthdays?
October 13th and March 11th.
Nice. And their shoe size?
They are whatever my wife tells me to get.
He makes sure that I have a great life and I will prevail in everything I do.
And what's his birthday?
That's January 27th, 2010.
Success.
He's so funny and just so kind to me.
Do you know her teacher's name?
Miss Schumbacher.
And favorite animal?
Cheetah.
10 out of 10. We have found the unicorn, my friends.
September 13th,
And?
they twins.
Oh, they're twins. Oh, wow. It's the 12th. Okay, we just got word from the mom. It's the 12th. That's okay, Dad. That's okay, Dad.
My dad's the best. He's my hero. He's an amazing leader. He always has been. Yeah, I just love him. And he's an amazing grandpa. Not to me, to my son.
How is it fair? I didn't know you were going to do that.
What is her birthday?
April 20. No. Wait. May. No, that's Garrett.
We're talking about Tessa. We're talking Tessa.
I knew, but I have a mental break. It's too much pressure. No, it's April. April 29th is Reed.
We're not talking about reading. Right? Want your child, Tessa.
June, July. No, August. August the 5th.
There you go.
I was just having a mental break. I was having a mental breakdown. That's what happens when you're over 50. It was the best day of my life. I'll never forget it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm the worst dad ever. I actually do know them because they're on my phone. Well, if you don't feel like you're a perfect parent, welcome. Welcome to the club. We're all working through this together. We're all working through this together, and that's why my team said, Bill, you need to do a sermon on parenting because you need the help. So we're actually in the third week of a series entitled Parenting in the 21st Century. And it is not easy. The world has changed, the rules have changed, and so we've been exploring how can we do this better? And so in week number 1, if you're just joining us, I want to catch you up real quick. We talked about building a foundation, and we used the passage in the Bible where it says, train up a child in the way they should go, and when they are old, they will not depart from it. And we learned that simply means to equip our children with the tools that they're going to need to be successful in life. Our job is to give them the tools. What they do with them, that is on them. But train up a child in the way they should go. And our foundation, of course, is in who God says they are. And then last week we talked about discipline. We looked at that really challenging passage, spare the rod, you hate your children. But we learned that discipline is establishing boundaries, not to punish them out of retribution because you're angry, but rather to protect and to guide them because they are valuable. So we've talked about training up a child in the way they should go. We've talked about discipline. And today we want to talk about honor. A virtue that unfortunately has been lost, I think, in our culture. How do we honor one another? And how do children honor their parents and parents honor their kids? And this is a tricky one because it's not always easy. So my beautiful daughter, who you all know and love, she is amazing. Gave me my grandchild. Have I talked about Miles before? He's amazing. But I gotta let you know the honest truth. There was a season where it was not easy. We call it the bad Barbie phase. All right, let me show you what I'm talking about right here.
Oh, is that you? Who are you, Reed? And who are you, Tessa? Oh, Tessa, what do you think Christmas is all about?
I'm not Tessa.
Oh, bad Barbie, what do you think Christmas is all about?
Bad stuff.
Oh, but isn't it about Jesus?
No.
What you didn't see is she headbutted me right there on the camera. There were seasons, of course, as parents where you're like, how do I instill the qualities in my children that I want to see in them because I love them? So we're going to talk about honor today. And we're going to ask the question, is that just kind of like an archaic, antiquated idea? Or do we need to still hold on to honor in our homes? So if you have your Bibles, I want you to turn with me to Exodus chapter 20. If you don't have your Bible today, that's okay. It will be on the screens, but you can also download the YouVersion app on your phone and follow along. So in Exodus chapter 20, to set the context, God is giving the 10 commandments. And we're going to read the 5th commandment. And the 5th commandment simply says in Exodus 20 verse 12, honor your father and mother, that your days may be long upon the land which the Lord your God is giving you. Now, I know when I read that, some of your parents are like, yeah, you tell them, honor me. Well, that's one extreme. We're gonna help balance that out. And on the other extreme, maybe you're here and you're saying, my parents don't deserve honor for what they've done. And so we have these two extremes. What does this word honor really mean, and how can we incorporate it into our world? Well, it's really fascinating because the Hebrew word here, honor, is actually used in many different variations. Many different English words are translated from this Hebrew word, kabod. Kabod means literally to have weight, to carry weight. And so when this word is used, and we translate it here, honor, it can be used in the Bible in a positive sense, as in someone has an abundance of something, a weight. They have a lot of experience or a lot of wisdom, or they've been given authority. So when someone walks into a room, you know what I'm talking about, right? Some people just kind of carry a weight. They're like, oh yeah, either by their office or by respect. There's a weight about them in a positive sense, and they are worthy of honoring. We read this in the Bible in 1 Samuel 9:6. There was a prophet, his name was Samuel, and he had proven to be faithful. He was a godly man, and so it says, look now, there is a man in the city, a man of God, and he is, here's that word, kabod, honorable. All that he says surely comes to pass. This word kabod is also translated into the English word glory. When God descends on the mountain, it says the glory of the Lord, that word kabod, the kabod of the Lord rested on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And maybe even this morning in worship, you kind of felt that weight, right? That there's something, you can feel it. There's a weight to it. Honor means to be worthy or someone who carries weight. But it can also be used in a negative sense. So in the same book, Exodus, in chapter 5, verse 9, of course, the Hebrews are slaves at this point, and the Pharaoh is really furious with Moses for saying, let my people go. So he says this, let more work be kabod, laid on the men, that they may labor in it, and let them not regard these false words. It's to put a burden or a weight onto somebody. And in Exodus chapter 10, verse 1, this word is translated hardened. It says, go into Pharaoh, for I have kabod, I have hardened his heart. So this word weight can be used in a positive sense, where somebody carries a weight, and it can be used in a negative sense, where someone puts on a weight. The key in this is responsibility. The reality that we have responsibility, and that either warrants respect if we walk in it well, or it becomes a burden on those in authority or under our authority. So there's two applications for us here today. So in this room, there are those of you who are in authority. Whether it's at work, maybe you're a boss at work, or you have a position as a title, you have people underneath you. Maybe you're a teacher, or maybe you're a parent. You have some authority. The question for you in authority, in this understanding of kabod is, are you using your authority in a way that warrants respect by taking responsibility? Are you taking responsibility and therefore warranting the weight that has been given to you? I remember when I became the lead pastor of this church 14 years ago. And I remember, thinking I was the associate pastor, and there were some of you, you're still sitting here and I love you still, who weren't sure I could do it. I'd never been a lead pastor before, and you were right. I don't know if I knew I could do it or not. But there was you voted kindly to let me be the lead pastor. And I remember the very first day I sat in that chair. I'll never forget it. I was all excited. I was so excited to walk into that office and sit in that spot. But as soon as I sat down, the only way I could explain it is a weight. It was like, oh no. Like now it's on me. Like before it was like Pastor Darren's problem. Like if something went bad, it was his fault, right? But now, no, it's on me. Yeah, I told you the story in week 1 when I brought my son home, for the first time I held him, my firstborn, and I realized, oh no, like I'm responsible for another human being. That is not to be taken lightly. There is a weight to that. There's a weight that you carry when you're someone in authority. On this flip side, there are all of us in this space, and we are under some authority, whether that's you're a child in that relationship, or you are a student, or whether you work for somebody, or you have someone in your life who is an authority figure. And the question that we have to answer in relation to kabod is, are you giving respect to those who are carrying the burden for you? Now here's the deal. I'm gonna be blunt. If you're under authority, you have no idea the weight that those in authority have to carry. As a child, I remember I never thought about where I was gonna eat. My dad had to worry about that. I didn't know if we were in a financially difficult situation. I didn't know the sacrifices that he had to make so I could have food and shelter. I didn't understand that. Honor understands there is a weight that is being carried for you. Whether you like it or not, the truth is, if you work for somebody, they're the ones really taking the risk. They stuck their neck out, their finances out to start a business, and they employed you. They chose you. You lose your job, you can get another one. They lose their business, they lose everything. There is a weight. Leaders, we live in a culture right now that targets leaders. It is really difficult. Nobody wants to be a leader because everyone has an opinion on what a leader should do, but no one's willing to take the responsibility to lead. We all have an opinion, but when it comes time to step up and step in and take responsibility, no, I'm not doing that. But we're easy targets to pick, oh, they did it wrong. If I were in charge, I would have done it that way. So then be in charge, right? So honor means that when you have a weight to carry, you carry it responsibly. I remember when I was a young dad, and not every day I have is a good day. I have really bad days, and I would remember I had to incorporate a discipline very early in my relationship with my children. I would drive home from work, and maybe someone had just chewed me out, or I'd gotten in trouble for something that day, sometimes often trivial. Or I felt like we were failing. I felt the strain of a financial situation. But I'd come home and I'd have all of this weight on me. You know exactly what I'm talking about. All these thoughts in my mind, all these pressures squeezing in on me. And I remember I had to sit in the driveway and I had to just stop. And I had to let them go and stay there. Because my children, it was not fair for them to have to carry my weight, for me to walk into that space and just be snippy. Listen, you don't know what I've been going through. Leave me alone. No, I can't read a story to you now. No, why don't you just stop pestering me all the time? You always ask for stuff. I don't have money. We put our burden on people who were not designed to carry it. It's not their responsibility, so I had to learn, Bill, with God's help, Bill, please help me just to lay it here. I'll pick it up tomorrow when I get back in the car and go back to work, but right now, I've got to be a dad. That's my responsibility. And I know it's hard, and I know there are pressures. And I know that your children will maybe never understand those pressures until they get much older, but it's not fair to put it on them. They're not equipped to carry it. On the flip side, for those of you under authority, honor is something you give because the person is carrying something for you. Maybe that is the responsibility of making sure you have a job. Yeah, you hate your job, okay, but you have one. Yeah, you don't like going to school and learning, yeah, but you have someone who's actually investing in you. And maybe they're doing a terrible job. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about appreciate. Honor is appreciating and respecting a weight that is being carried. If you really want to help someone who's over you in authority, make their burden light. Carry the responsibility. You see, one thing here, I'm going to talk about chores for a minute, okay? And I know chores are a sore spot and nobody likes chores, and all the kids in the room are like, oh, please just stop talking right now. I'm not gonna stop talking, because what you need to understand is that in order to run a house, things have to be done. Things need to be cleaned, lawns need to be mowed. There are certain responsibilities, and when you as a child can carry those with your parent, it alleviates the burden. They have so many things they're thinking about that really it is not too much to ask for you to scrub a toilet. It really isn't. You use it too. You live there. You don't pay the mortgage. You don't pay the bills. And so it's okay. And the deal is that you say, well, they're just telling me what to do because they want to be tyrants. No, they're doing it because someone needs to do it. And what they're doing is equipping you with responsibility so that when you're in authority, you can make good decisions too. Yeah, go ahead and clap that. There's a couple of very excited parents. Very excited parents on that one. Okay. Double chores this week for everybody. Okay. But on the flip side of that, right, parents, there needs to be mutual respect. There needs to be an understanding that, yes, I can't ask of you more than I should, but I also want you to understand we're doing it together. I'm not telling you, I'm asking. I'm not demanding this from you. I am just asking, could we carry this together? Because the weight is heavy. One thing I'm learning about the 21st century, and I actually don't think it's going to get easier for the next couple of years, is we are going to go into a season of incredible weight and responsibility, incredible difficulty. I think there are going to be financial burdens placed on us that we aren't necessarily ready for. I think there are social pressures. I mean, I don't know if you feel it, but I feel it every time I open up my Instagram and Facebook. I feel these pressures to be something that I'm not, or to conform to something that I don't feel comfortable with. I feel canceled and shut down. And we are living in a difficult time. And what's going to happen for us to make it through is to learn what it means to truly honor one another. Honor will rise the level of respect and create environments for us to thrive. Hey, those under authority say, I see what you're carrying. How can I help you? Thank you. Honor just means acknowledging you're carrying a lot. On the flip side, those in authority to say, how can we do this together? How can we all win? This is the big weight we have to carry, but how can we do it together? When we moved back from Thailand to Canada, I knew that we didn't have a lot of resources. And so my parents did the very best that they could. It was a challenge. But they never put that weight on me. They did ask me if I would, be willing to give up on some of the things that my other friends had. not because they didn't want to give it to me, but because they couldn't. But I understood that. There was the way they were able to communicate and share this idea with me, I felt like I could carry it with them. That they weren't fighting me, we were fighting together. That the problem wasn't those in authority and those under authority. It was a world that will try to squeeze you and break you and press you. But if we do it together, if we stick together through honor and respect, we can make it. So when the Bible says honor your father and mother, it's a command, yes, for those under authority, but also for those in authority. It is a mutually shared understanding. And what I've learned about honor is it limits the need for a lot of rules. Where there's an environment with a lot of respect, people step up and step in. They say, hey, how can I help you with that? Because they recognize we're fighting on the same team. So maybe you're here and you're like, wow, I'd love that. I want that. How do I get there? How do I get there? That's a really good question. So Paul in the New Testament, so we read from Exodus, which is in the Old Testament before Jesus, thousands of years before Jesus. And now, shortly after the time of Jesus, Paul is he's writing all these letters to churches that are trying to figure it out. And one of those churches is in Ephesus, and so he writes to them in Ephesians 6:1, children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment, with a promise, that it may go well with you and you may live long on the earth. And you, fathers in authority, do not provoke your children to wrath, but bring them up in the training and the admonition of the Lord. This word obey is hupokeo, which I just love saying. And hupo means to be under. It means to listen under. And it's kind of a confusing word. Like, what exactly does that mean? It means when there is an authority, and the caveat, the disclaimer is that it's an authority in the Lord. Somebody who actually wants what's very best for you. Someone who is actually fighting for you. Honor them, obey them. It means to come under, to listen, and to be moved to action. The closest illustration I could think of was of a soldier in a battle. Now, last night my family took me to Top Gun Maverick for Father's Day. Awesome. That's totally aside, for free. Awesome. But in that, of course, the story is this old grizzled vet, right? And Tom Hanks, he is grizzled and old, but he still looks so good. I don't know how he does that. Anyway, he's this old vet, and he comes in to train a bunch of young pilots, and they're training in an older plane, and I won't spoil, no spoiler alerts, I promise. It's awesome. But the point is this: they learn to give him honor. At first, they see him as someone who's just interfering, a has-been, washed up, no good, but then they start to honor him because they recognize that he brings with him wisdom and expertise. And in the heat of a battle, you don't have the time to talk back. In the heat of a battle, if you get an order, it's like, excuse me, sir, you're dead. You're dead. You have got split seconds, and someone has been put in a place of authority, not to domineer you, but rather to save your life. We are talking about life and death, and that command, if it comes from a good commander, from a good place, someone who wants you to come home, you listen, you hupoakeo, you listen under authority, because it matters. And our kids need to know that this world, I don't want to be dramatic, but it is life and death. I don't mean to be dramatic, but the truth is this world is hard. It is a battle. It is a battle for your mind and a battle for your heart. It's a battle for your soul. And if you lose this battle, you lose yourself. You lose your mind, you lose your joy, you lose your passion, you lose your drive. So God established parents, if they are in the Lord, that's the caveat, if they are truly committed, who just want your best and are fighting for you. I know you think they're fighting you, they're not. They are fighting for you. And when they ask you to do something, often it comes from a good place. maybe misplaced, maybe misguided, but when it comes from a good place, I just want you to win. I had to consistently remind myself when my daughter was going through her teen years, and she didn't know how 13-year-old boys think. I did. There was no way on God's good green earth that there were situations that I was going to let her get into, no matter how much she hated me in the moment. I was fighting for her. I was fighting for her. I may not know her birthday, but I was fighting for her. And my boys, I just wanted them to be men of integrity. You don't talk back to your mother. That's not how we treat women. You use your power for good. I was fighting for them. And this Father's Day, we're gonna get together, and I'm super excited about that, but it doesn't matter what they get me as a gift. If they get me anything, it doesn't matter. Or even if they get me a card and they'll write wonderful words, which they do, all I want them to know is you fought for us. I'm not perfect. Far from it. But I just wanted my kids to know I was fighting for you. And yes, I made mistakes, a lot of them, but you need to know where it was coming from. I was just trying my best. And sometimes the weight of it was too much. Well, you didn't know, maybe as a little child, is there were nights when I didn't know how to be your dad. And I'd cry out to God and say, God, please help me. Well, you didn't know, is there times I didn't know how I was gonna feed you. And it broke me, but I fought for you. There are times I know you didn't like what I said or the way I said it, but I need you to know I was fighting for you. I'm just convinced, thank you. I'm just convinced if we could create that kind of an atmosphere in our families again, an atmosphere of honor, that the promise given would come true, it would go well with you, and you would live long. Again, just going back to the other proverb, it's not necessarily a promise, it's just an assurance that if we can learn to honor again, on both sides of the equation, those in authority and under authority, life will just be better. It'll just be better. We don't have to fight about whose turn it is to set the table, because we're all gonna take a turn. We don't have to fight about who got more at Christmas, because it's not about what you get at Christmas. It's about a heart that loves you. We don't have to fight about the rules. We can talk about them. I'll listen to your side. I want you to win, so help me understand it. But we don't have to fight about them, because I want you to win. That should never be in question. And so, Paul, picking up in Romans 13:7, says, give to everyone what you owe them. If you owe taxes, brace yourself. Pay taxes. Hate that one. If it's revenue, then revenue. If you owe people money, pay them back. If it's respect, then respect. And if it's honor, then honor. See, what I've learned in life is that respect is earned, but honor is given. So what would honor look like in our lives today? Just really quickly, I want to wrap up with some thoughts. For those of you under authority, I was trying to think of a way to articulate it in a way you could remember. And here's my best attempt. I want you to win, I'm fighting for you. Compliance without compromise. In no way am I saying that if there's an authority figure that's asking you to do something that goes against your convictions or against who God has called you to be, that you need to comply. But when that is not on the table, then you comply without compromising who you are. My favorite story on this, I was talking with a few of my friends, and the illustration one of my buddies gave me was great. He said, yeah, actually, when you think about it, the very first miracle Jesus ever did was to honor his mom. Here's the situation. They're at a party. Jesus is having a great time. I don't know what he's doing. No, maybe dance. I don't know what he's doing. If that offends you, I'm sorry. I think Jesus danced. And so he's at the party, and his mom comes. She's like, Jesus, Jesus, they ran out of wine, so turn the water into wine. And here's, she's like, Mom, it's not my time yet. Come on, this can't be the first miracle. Come on, Mom. And Mom's like, oh, no. And you know how moms are. Like, they ask, but they're already setting wheels in motion. She's like, okay, yeah, you guys over there, get this water. And she's like, okay, fine, turns the water into wine. Yay, everyone wins. The truth is, the very first miracle was because Jesus was honoring his mom. He just loved his mom. And Mom said, please. And he said, okay, Mom, I'll do it for you. That is such a cool picture. For those under authority, the question today is, how can I honor those who are carrying a weight for me? If someone's helping you financially, if someone's there for you emotionally, if someone is carrying a weight of responsibility that you don't have to think about, honor them for it. That's the greatest gift you can give on Father's Day. To someone who is worthy of honor, to give them honor. Thank you. I don't understand everything you have to carry, but thank you for carrying it anyway. I'll never maybe fully understand all the weight and the pressure you feel, but thank you for carrying it for me so I don't have to think about it. And for those in authority, I wrote this way: compassion over control. Whenever I think of this, I think of Jesus carrying the cross. If you're not familiar with the story, the Bible says that the wages of sin is death. You may not like that verse, but listening to thousands of stories in my life, I've learned that. There is a way that seems right to us, but in the end it does lead to death. Anytime we say, God, I don't need you, I got it, I'm good, I don't need your authority in my life, there's a consequence. And many of you felt it. It's the disappointment and the heartache of a broken relationship. It's the mental anguish of, why can't I seem to break this cycle? It's the torment of being so right all the time that you've pushed everybody away. Decision after decision after decision, and the weight is oppressive. So the Bible says that Jesus stepped into that situation and he picked up our weight. We call it the cross. The cross was simply a symbol of the weight, the price that we were trying to haul around. We carried death around with us. The harder we tried, the worse it got. The more we tried to get people to like us, the further away they went. The harder we tried to get respect and control, the less we had. So Jesus picked up our weight. He picked up his cross, your cross, my cross. And beaten and broken as we are, maybe not on the outside, maybe today you came in and you're like, how are you doing? I'm fine, I'm great. But inside you are broken, bleeding, bruised. Life has just taken another pound of flesh. He picked up his cross and he carried it. And he allowed them to nail him there and lift him up in a garbage dump for everyone to see, exposed, humiliated. But he knew why he was there. He was fighting for you. He was fighting for me. And so he's willing to carry it. We didn't understand it. They mocked him. They ridiculed him. They made fun of him. And all he had done was good. But he took our weight, our responsibility. And on the cross, in one of the most beautiful moments, he looked down and he saw his mom. And he realized, I'm not going to be there for you, Mom. So next to his mom was his best friend, John. He said, John, in his crucifixion, John, please take care of Mom. He honored his mother on the cross. John, I can't be there for you, so mom's gonna look after you now too. On the cross. He exhibited honor. He took the weight of the world, the sin of the world, and he carried it with dignity and with respect. The Bible says he could have called 1,000 angels and it stopped the whole process, but he gladly bore it because he honored you. That's authority. That's authority. So today I want to just close in prayer. And I'm going to pray for a variety of things. I'm going to pray for you fathers. Happy Father's Day. I do honor you. Maybe you're here and you feel like you're a terrible father. Can I honor the part that isn't terrible? Can I honor the heart that's trying to make it right? Can I encourage you that with God all things are possible, that it's not too late? Don't give up, don't quit. Start investing again, honoring again. But my kids don't want anything to do with me. Invest in them, honor them. Let them carry some of the weight with you, and if they reject you, then here's the good news. God will never reject you. Never reject you. I'm going to pray for those today who maybe feel like they weren't able to be a father for a variety of reasons. Today, again, I want to encourage you, and I also want to pray for those who feel like they didn't have a dad. Maybe you have a biological dad, but maybe you don't even know who he is, or he's never really been around. I love when the Bible says God is a father to the fatherless. Today I'm going to pray for God to fill this space, the weight of his love and his forgiveness and his grace to fill this space, to heal us. So Father, I begin by honoring you. There are things that you know that we will never know. There are responsibilities and weights that you are carrying. You are working all things together just like we said, even when we don't see it, even when we don't believe it. And what may look like chaos to us, God, you promise you are working all things together for good. So I honor you, Father, first and foremost, for being good. I trust you, even when I don't understand. And in turn, I pray for the fathers in this house. Whether they're watching online or here in person, I just pray that you'd give them the strength and the courage to take on their responsibility again. No matter how badly they feel they have failed, that they would take their responsibility and step up and step in to who you created them to be. And for those who feel like they don't have a father, or they don't feel like they don't have children, my prayer is that you would remind us that we all can step into authority and invest in the next generation. This next generation desperately needs men and women who will lead with integrity. Men and women worthy of honor because they put you first. And so God, I just pray that your grace would fill this space. Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. And so with that, I bless you. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen and amen.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Pastor Bill. And to all the fathers in the room, we honor you today. And to all the fathers in the room that don't feel like the word honor relates to you today, and you feel maybe shame or a sense of that you're not good enough, I'm just praying for you today to know that you can bring that to Jesus today, and that today could be the last day that you feel that way, and that there's freedom and that there's hope, and you can always move in the right direction with Jesus and regain that father figure in your life. If you're a son or a daughter in this room and Father's Day is not a good day for you, it's not a celebratory day, I also just encourage you to tell someone else today. We have amazing pastors and group leaders that can help you on that journey. and that can just connect you with our Father, Jesus, who is the perfect Father, who doesn't make mistakes, who can just show you what a good father is. So I just encourage you today to just leave today feeling encouraged, to leave today feeling that there is hope and that you can move in the right direction, and that you don't have to carry that shame anymore. So today, if you're visiting us for the first time, if you've been joining us for a really long time, I know that many of us in this room are in different faith journeys, and our mission here at Central is to help you connect to God and to others. So if today, for the first time, you've decided to follow Jesus for the first time, we just really encourage you to text the word Central to 905-967-5610, or in the lobby outside by the white Connect wall. Our group leaders and our pastors are ready to meet you, get to know you, and help you in any way that we can on your faith journey. If you're watching online, you're not off the hook. You can also connect with the online host, and they can help you with the next steps as well. Also today, if you'd like prayer or communion, you can come right to the front, and our pastors would love to pray with you or have communion with you before you go today. Also, if you'd like to partner with us in the work that we're doing here at Central, you can head to centralcc.ca/give. You can follow the prompts and set up ongoing giving, or just give a one-time financial gift. Also, in the lobby, you can give at our giving kiosk, or if you exit through exit A, you can tap your credit on our tap machine and give that way. In whatever way you choose to give today, I just want to say that everything we do on a Sunday and everything we do in our community during the week and everything we do around the world is because of your partnership. So we're just really thankful for that today. Also today, to celebrate Father's Day, if you exit through exit B, which is on your left, we have some food trucks, we have some bouncy castles, we have some just activities for you and your family. So make sure you stop by there and help us celebrate Father's Day today. Well, that's all from me today. If you have any questions, you can text the word Central to 905-937-5610. You can go to the website on the screen, or you can scan the QR code on the seat back in front of you. Well, that's all from me today. I hope you have a great day and enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you back here next week. Bye, everybody.